You have learned the basics of web development like HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and now you wonder, what should I do next? How can you get your projects from your local machine out in the wild so others can use it? Which tech stack should I use? But wait, what is a tech stack? A tech stack is the collection of all the technology, programming languages, frameworks or tools used to build and publish your software projects. A classic tech stack, for example, is the so-called LAMP stack. It stands for Linux Operating System, Apache Web Server, MySQL Database, and P for PHP, the programming language. I don't recommend traditional stacks like LAMP to beginners because they come with a massive downside. You would have to manage a server, including all the parts like the hardware, the operating system and the database. But you want to focus on coding. The solution is Nuxt3 plus Cloudflare. But what's Nuxt? Nuxt3 is a full-stack framework based on Vue.js. Are you kidding me? So many terms in just one sentence. Full stack means that it covers the whole stack. The front end, which is what the user can see, like the user interface of your app in the browser. The backend, which is the server code of your app, which is necessary to perform tasks in the background and access the database. A framework is like the foundation of your code. It helps you by managing common tasks for you and generally makes writing code easier. Nuxt is a Vue.js framework. Vue itself is also a framework, which helps you to build front ends more easily compared to plain HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Maybe you've heard of React. React is similar to Vue, they are both front-end frameworks. But in my opinion, Vue is slightly easier to learn than React, that's why I recommend it to beginners. Nuxt allows you to write front-end and back-end code in one single project, which is perfect for beginners because you won't have to manage multiple code bases. Okay, the second part of our stack is handled by Cloudflare, which initial purpose was to improve the security of your websites, but today it offers various different services. One of them is Cloudflare Pages, which is a hosting service that allows you to publish your project without all the hassle. To bootstrap a Nuxt project for Cloudflare Pages, run the following command in your terminal. Let's open the newly created project in our code editor and take a look at the created files. The app.vue file is the entry point of the app. The template of the file is where we write our HTML. The HTML contains only two example components, Nuxt root announcer and Nuxt welcome. So let's open the package.json file. This is where we define all the packages and their versions, which we use with our project. A package is basically a pre-built piece of code. They solve common problems or add features to our projects. And the cool thing is, we don't have to write the code, we just have to add the package. Vue and Nuxt are packages too, for example. To run our app, to see it in action, let's open the terminal and run npm run dev. This will start Nuxt with a local development server and we can see our code in action and check if everything works as expected before publishing the project. Now let's deploy our application to Cloudflare. First, you have to create a free Cloudflare account. After creating the account, open your terminal and type npm run deploy. The script will ask you to log into your Cloudflare account and grant permissions. Follow the script and confirm all the questions by hitting the enter key. Nice, you've just deployed your first Nuxt application to Cloudflare Pages. Now you can open your deployed app in your browser by clicking the URL shown in your terminal. Okay, the default app looks boring, let's change it a bit. So let's open the app.vue file again and remove the two example components. You can replace it with any HTML you like. Let's add a simple h1 heading followed by a paragraph. Let's run the deployment script again and observe the newly deployed changes in the browser. Remember, initially I told you that Nuxt is a full-stack framework, allowing us to write front-end and back-end code. Let's write some back-end code now. Do you see the server directory? Here we can write server-side code for our app. Let's create an API endpoint called Hello World. API stands for Application Programming Interface. Think of it as the bridge between the front-end and the back-end. APIs consist of endpoints, which are like the destinations where our requests go to. A to-do list app would have an endpoint for retrieving the to-do items and one for creating items, for example. And our front end can call the endpoints by sending a request to the endpoint URL. It's basically like, hey backend, give me all the to-do items. Okay, enough theory, we want to create a Hello World endpoint, which just delivers an Hello World message when requested. So first, create a directory, API, inside the server directory, and then let's create a file, helloworld.ts. The following code is used to create an API endpoint with Nuxt, and in our case, we just return an object. The return value is the response of the endpoint, which will be delivered to the front end when we send the request. Let's open the app.vue file again. So far, the app.vue component only has a template. template. But we need some JavaScript code now to send the request. So let's add a script tag below the template and give it the setup attribute. Now we can use useFetch to send requests. Let's pass the request URL as an argument. In our case it's /API/hello world. Let's print the response to the console. Deploy the app again, run npm run deploy, and when done, open it in the browser. Now let's open the developer tools and select the console tab. As you can see, the response was logged to the console successfully. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you liked the video and learned a lot. Have a great day and see you next time.